Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Steph Hetherington, and my co-host today from the car there is Deanna
Deanna
Hutton.
Hutton with the JJ team, and we are doing a feature Friday on something super important, and that is the client remarks. So, just to be clear on what the client remarks are, this is the public facing write up that everyone sees when you post a listing. So, we wanted to go through some helpful hints on how to really wow people and capture attention. Because as we all know, people's attention spans when they're scrolling through listings, you got like maybe 10 seconds to hook them with the pictures and the write up. So, how do we make that the most impactful? So,
Yes.
Steph is going to share the screen if you haven't already.
Yep. Can you guys
There
see
we
it?
are. Okay, now I can. Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. Yeah, so say it and sell it and how to spark those awesome client remarks. Sorry, I gotta move
Add
you
some
guys
sparks
out
to
of the
your
way.
remarks.
Right? Add some spark. And this is fun because Deanna and I, we have a little bit like a different way that we approach our client remarks. Deanna was definitely born with more of a gift to the gab, whereas I tend to
Hmm.
lean on AI a little more. So it's all about kind of merging those two, but keeping
Yes,
your own. So,
exactly.
yeah, first and foremost, as Deanna mentioned there, we have very little time to really grab that buyer's attention. So nailing the hook, that opening line is probably one of the most important parts. So it's starting with that first really strong sentence. You want to create character for the house, draw those buyers
Hmm.
in with that feeling or that standout feature or lifestyle. So maybe Deanna can go through a couple examples here that,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's more, sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's more challenging depending on the house. Two of them here had quite a bit of character. So, what I wanted to do was create essentially like an avatar for the house, create like an actual, like humanize the house a little bit. So, one of them was one that I sold in Jackson's Point last fall. It had a ton of history. People who had driven by it for years always turn their heads and wonder about it. So I gave it sort of like an enchanting character. So to start off, so rich in history and charm, this enchanting property is nestled along prestigious Hedge Road and backs onto the renowned Briars Golf Club. Like in a nutshell, that's all you need to know about that house.
right?
And
Sounds
then the rest
amazing.
is right. And it was truly enchanting. Like what I didn't do was overinflate and like overpromise, and then people get there, they're like, what? Like
Yeah.
it truly was. It gave me that feeling that it was like this enchanted little fairy tale cottage. And then the next one, so it kind of gets right to the point again. So escape to the extraordinary. This timeless waterfront cottage is nestled on a generous 0.63-acre lot with a sprawling 143 feet of pristine west facing shoreline, expansive manicured grounds, and mature trees. So again, it kind of like captures the property and all of the unique features in a nutshell. Like the fact that the lot size, the shoreline, like how wide it was, and the fact that it's west facing
And you're
are
going to
kind
get
of
those
the
amazing sunsets, right?
exactly because
Yeah.
I know that a lot of waterfront buyers, for example, looking at this are going to care about those things right off the hop. That could be like their make it or break it, right? So I wanted
Yeah.
to get right to the point.
And
Um,
then,
yeah.
yeah, avoid calling it rare when it's not. I see so many listing descriptions like rare, 5 bedroom, four
Oh yeah.
bedroom, five
Yes.
bedroom, four bath
Rare.
home.
I saw one the other day in
Yeah.
Bradford because, as you guys know, or if you don't know about me, I obsessively scroll Realm looking at listings. It's my recon, and one of the part of that is looking at remarks and kind of helping, like which ones catch my attention, which ones don't. So yeah, just in terms of setting yourself up for success or disaster is an accurate description. So, like Steph said, I saw one in Bradford and it said, like, rare opportunity to own a 5 bedroom, 5 bath home in Summerlin, which is not that rare. Like, there's a lot of big 5 bedroom homes in the subdivision of Summerlin in Bradford right now. So you
Mhm.
just, you want to be accurate because if you're already inflating that statement, then what else are you inflating?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So
So
start strong, really give
start
it some
strong.
thought, some character, the essence of the house, and try and get to those strong points right away.
Exactly. And then from there, when you've started strong, as our next slide says here, you want to follow the
Follow the
flow.
flow.
So starting big and then kind of drilling down. So in those first couple examples there that we went over, those opening hooks lines really talked about like the location or those standout features first. So we set the scene with something unique, the view, the proximity, the lifestyle, or those notable upgrades. And then we can kind of I like to move through into the house, the layout, again, focusing on those key upgrades, describe the interior, the flow, main room, special finishes, custom touches. So again, we want to stick only the facts that add value. I find a lot of the time, especially when people use AI primarily to do their write-ups, there's a lot of like
Hmm.
fluff in between.
Yes.
It's not really describing anything in particular that makes the house unique. So again, sticking to those primary facts that add value, and then finally, wrapping up with maybe the outdoor space or those bonus features. Oopsie, sorry, skipped ahead there. Mentioning, the backyard, lot size, garage, finished basement, or other kind of selling points that might seal the deal.
Yeah, and to that point, because we're seeing such an increase in inventory or kind of like normal inventory levels, it is important to again differentiate. For me, like my attention span's super short. So if my eyes are glazing over and I'm not even halfway done looking through the remarks and looking for unique things, like as I'm searching for my own buyers and I'm reading through looking for all the points that I think my buyers would like, if it's all just like wishy-washy and like it really doesn't help us send it to our buyers, right? Like you want to, like if someone's looking for a big backyard or a walkout basement or above grade windows or whatever, right? Like help us help you. Help us
Right?
bring a buyer, right? Whereas
Yeah.
if it's all just like, it's like, oh my God, what am I even reading?
Sounds like every other house. Yeah,
Right? I know. And we need to stand out now more than ever.
exactly. For sure. So, kind of along those lines and standing out, we talk about, you want to be specific, you want to be accurate, but you want to be aspirational. So, be honest about the house, but you want to still
Mm-hmm.
sell the sizzle, as we say here. These are fun. If it's small, you want to highlight the smart design. If it's dated, you want to lean into the charm, the cherished home, or the potential of it. So this is always fun. We always joke in using these like
Oh
realtor
yeah, they're so
words.
funny.
He loves these. Like cozy really means tiny, and hidden gem means crap box. Won't last means it probably will
I
last,
know. It's always so risky when you say won't last. It's like, oh God,
right?
you don't want to jinx yourself, right?
Yeah, 90 days later, it's
Um,
still there. Yeah, so just, use these features of the house and then kind of elevate the truth. So, lovingly maintain really probably means it's not renovated, but it's also not falling apart. There's like nice ways to say things that
yeah.
sound better. So you'll see some more there like solid bones and smart layout. Maybe it's not stylish, but it works, right?
Hmm.
Or just wait. I like the final one. Just waiting for your vision means you're going to need a vision and you're also going to need cash to probably make it your own.
Right,
But
right, exactly. So you might want to get those mortgage plus improvements type thing. You want to speak to your lender about that. Yeah, because I really find when when you really like beef it up and it sounds amazing, then you go and show your buyers and you're like, oh, there is actually like quite a bit of work to do. You'd much rather appreciate the honesty from the start.
yeah.
Like if you have a fixer upper, so let's put it out there, Steph. If you see
Oh, I
So
lost it.
if you have a listing and it's like a fixer upper house, what are some things that you could emphasize to be honest and still attract people? Like what are some things that you can say if the house needs work, but maybe like other features are desirable? What are some other features that we could highlight?
Yeah, for sure. So I think like a lot of times, especially if the home maybe needs some renovations, but like as we say here, like the bones of the house are
Yep.
solid. It's got a great layout. I like to focus on the layout and other kind of features, maybe again, going on to the lot size, the location. So other aspects that are really going to, sell the house, and then be honest about, there being room to personalize, to add your personal touch. I know I use that one a lot too, basically saying
Yes.
and finish it. Um,
Yes.
yeah. What about you?
Anyone from the group have any suggestions? Like if the house needs some work, what are some things that you could focus on?
Just shout it out.
Yeah, just shout it out because I can't
Not
really see
all at
hands.
once.
Not all at once. What about like lot size? Location, yeah, so
Mhm.
these are things, even if the house needs work, the things that you can't change. So
Yeah.
where it is situated can be a big, big deal for people. The lot
I
size, you can't change that. Sorry, there was
Maybe
someone,
maybe you
yeah,
could emphasize on some of the bigger ticket items that have already been upgraded, like the roof or the mechanical.
yeah,
Yes, and we'll
Mhm.
definitely get into that.
exactly. Yeah, nearby schools, shops, yeah, like all the things that you can't change. And then the fun stuff is you can personalize it, right? Especially if it's just cosmetic. Yeah,
Yeah,
high
Yeah.
ceilings, that's a huge deal. The ceilings are
right. You
either
can't
high
change
or they're
those.
not, right? And what ceiling height is different enough that you should emphasize it in the write up? Anyone know? There's not like a hard and fast rule, but if the I always measure the ceiling height. 10, yeah. 10
Yeah,
foot ceilings are great. 9 foot ceilings in the basement is really good to emphasize. Yeah, location, location, location. Absolutely. There's a
I was
reason
also
why things, yeah, there's a reason why things sell for more depending on where they are.
where they are. Yeah.
Location is everything. Sorry, someone was saying something?
I was also going to say the number of washrooms that
Mm-hmm.
seems to be coming up. Like if it's traditionally one, but it just so happens to have two, or a powder room,
Yeah. Two
emphasizing
Sure.
that's
full
a big,
baths, right?
yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
that for some families, we need two full baths or else let's not even bother, you know?
Yep.
So
mm,
like two full
Main
baths, a
floor,
tub.
yeah.
yes,
Main floor master bedroom or
Yep,
whatever,
main
something
floor
like that.
For
primary.
primary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Faye is exhausted when she reads the word charming.
I love it. Right. Okay. No
I
more
know
charming.
charming could be like it's small, it's quaint, it's so what do you have suggestions in lieu of charming? What could someone say?
Yeah. What do you guys say in lieu of charming? No? Oh,
What is the question
Quaint,
about?
cute,
Sophisticated.
sophisticated, sure. This could be where so Steph being the ChatGPT expert, if someone's kind of stuck, like I Google acronyms because I'm ancient.
and I asked
But
my dear Nova
yeah,
ChatGPT to give me some acronyms, and
yeah. So
it's an
instead of
alternative one.
yeah, so instead of charming, like what could it be?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
cool. Um,
Character.
character, yeah. Like some people
Mhm.
really love character. I've had a client, they moved actually from the beaches to Sutton, and he's like, I'm allergic to new builds. Like I can't.
Okay,
So he wants that character, he wants that charm.
absolutely. Okay, well, yeah, let's move on to talk about adjectives. I know
Yes.
he loves adjectives.
Add
So
those adjectives. Yes. So we recommend you don't just say things like when you're adding the remarks, windows, hardwood floors, backyards. Like
describe them.
describe them. Tell me
Yeah.
about the windows. Are they above grade? Are they palladium? Are they floor to ceiling? Tell us about the hardwood floor. Is it actually gleaming? Right?
Right? Is it actually
Is it
gleaming?
actually gleaming?
Know the
Is it
type
is
of
it
it.
wide plank? Is it oak? Is
Mhm.
it birch? Is it hand scraped? Like tell me about the hardwood. And this is all stuff that you can ask the sellers, and they really do appreciate when you're this in tune and you're looking for this kind of detail.
Detail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like what kind of
Okay.
hardwood? Tell me what kind of windows.
Right.
I'm
And there
selling
you
a house
go.
right now. They've got they're called magic windows, so the screens are actually magnetic. So when you open them up, they roll into the sides, so you don't even see the screens when you're not using them.
And
So details like that.
then
Instead of windows and things, we do have some suggestions here. Oh yeah, I love this, and Mariam knows this. We always chat about what direction are you looking? What direction is the house? Because if it is south facing, what does that mean for sunlight? Shout it out, everyone.
Hot,
there. All the time.
lots of sunlight.
Lots of sunlight. Moved. So my house in Keswick, it was a corner lot, south facing. The amount of sun, the sun drenchedness was unbelievable, and I didn't realize how good I had it until we moved. And I've got like two south facing windows. One's in the laundry room, so I just like stand there, like getting my sun. Like so
Doing the
when if I
laundry.
know that a buyer likes their sunlight and their natural light, I point that out for sure. Because that could, like, if I see south facing windows in a listing, it'll resonate with me. So yeah, like, talk about what direction it is, right? Oh, Mary, your garage gets the best sun. Exactly,
There you go.
right?
Exactly. And just
So
adding those adjectives, like even like when you're describing your old house there in Keswick D, just like the south facing, the sun coming in, like it adds that emotion, that imagery and value. So like I felt warm immediately, just as you
Did
were
you?
describing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then instead of just backyard, tell me about the backyard. Is it fully fenced? Is it gated? Like, that means a lot for pet owners. It means a lot for people with kids. And fences and gates are not cheap. So if they're in absence of one, that's like 15, 20 grand right off the hop if it's a must have for you.
Yes. Yeah. So
and then why it works. They add emotion, imagery, value, and then it can help buyers see themselves in the space.
Ultimately, that's what we want them to do, kind of visualize like themselves in the space before even getting there. So I feel like we're doing an English class today.
I know.
Now we're going to talk about verbs.
Verbs.
Okay. So
this is the most high C. This is the most high C presentation ever, everyone. Just buckle up.
Don't just say has or is. Say things like is equipped with, or situated, boasts, adorned with, offers. So we have a couple examples here, like how boring is the kitchen has stainless steel appliances. What sounds way better? The chef's kitchen is equipped with stainless steel appliances, or the house is in a quiet neighborhood with mature trees. No, say the home is situated in a quiet neighborhood, adorned with mature trees. Just sounds so much better and helps to kind of describe and, as I said, helps those buyers visualize the house, right?
Yeah, I like offers because it's like, this is what the house is offering to you, right? Like, it's like, this is what it's giving you. And when I'm looking at the kitchen, for example, and it's all the same appliances, especially if it's more higher end, I call it like a KitchenAid appliance suite, like a suite of appliances, you know? So it just sounds even better.
Fancier,
it's all matching,
right?
fancier. Exactly.
Yeah.
KitchenAid suite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. Are you calling the KitchenAid the high-end appliances?
Higher end.
Okay.
Middle range.
Professional line of KitchenAid.
There is.
Appliances.
Oh yeah. I recently bought appliances. They're not cheap. KitchenAid's one of the like middle to high, not higher, obviously, but like mid-range, better quality.
Yes, I thought you were talking about Wolf.
No, we're not there. But Wolf would definitely be a good example. Bosch is a good example. We could go into that.
Yeah.
You know, a great suggestion, if you're ever like even in Vaughan around Vaughan Mills, there's a number of appliance stores, like Canadian Appliance. Go in and just like learn about, those guys are so knowledgeable. And even just walk around and look at all the different appliances that are offered. You can learn about induction stovetops, and you can point that out a bit better in showings too, like the benefits of induction. So if you ever have extra time on your hand and you're near one of these appliance superstores, go in and you'll learn about that.
Or, I mean, if you don't have time on your hand, I know personally I've shown a house and I had no idea what the emblem or like what the logo was on this high-end appliance. So here comes my fancy little note with ChatGPT. I took a picture of it, uploaded it, and it told me all about that appliance brand. So there's that option too.
Yes,
so smart, so good stuff.
Yes, as they're walking around, I'm getting the answer and I have it for them. All right. So I know someone else earlier mentioned like updates in the house and how it's so important to mention them. So here we talk about like definitely don't skip those updates. Buyers want to know where the value is, and guess what? So do the appraisers when they're appraising the property. We always want to make sure to highlight those major updates, especially if they've been done, we would say, in the last 5 years or so. So, I mean, like year built, if newer, or if it's relevant to its character, as we talked, like Deanna's buyer who's allergic to new builds, maybe they want more of a century home or something. So in those cases, it's important to add in, the year it's built, kitchen and bathroom renovations. Those are what we call like instant perceived value. So if
kitchens and baths, highest ROI, so include that for sure.
Roof, windows, furnace, AC, when you're showing houses, those are like the most top questions that buyers want to know. If you're hosting open houses, those always are the big big ticket items that people want to know how old they are. So it's important to mention that. Flooring, paint, trim work means it's fresh, move-in ready. And then electrical, plumbing, and insulation. Those are hidden values that buyers love to know about too. So we say, like, when you have a date, it's important to include the dates when possible. Like, even as you see in the example here, even just saying roof and then in brackets putting the year 2022, that helps build, as we say, trust and transparency with the buyers, and lets them know when these big ticket updates have been done, and adds to the value of the property. Anything else to add there, Dee, or shall we?
No, we can move on. Yep.
Okay. I gotta move everybody to move on here.
The buyer avatar.
All right. Yeah, you kind of touched on this earlier.
Yes. Yeah. So speaking to your buyer avatar, so for me, this is a bit like 50-50. You want to target, kind of target who you think would be the ideal buyer for this house, and speak to them. But I would suggest not limiting it totally, because you just never know who the end user is, right? You don't want it to be like, oh, you're first time buyer, this, that, start your family. And yet, a single older lady downsizer bought it instead. So you just, like, if there's certain aspects of the house that you think a certain buyer would like, definitely target that, but keep it broad in general if you can, is my advice.
Better to cast that wider net than really.
Because I've just been surprised enough times that you really have no idea who's going to buy the house.
For sure. Awesome.
Yeah.
Here we just kind of put together a slide. Again, some other kind of keywords that attract buyers. Again, we've talked about some of these, but as you said, you could Google some adjectives or use ChatGPT to give you some other ones. But these are kind of some standout words that, catch buyers' eyes when reading, refined, sun-drenched, meticulously maintained, expansive. It's just like more elevated words than, instead of saying large, you could say expansive or timeless, tranquil. So you can read these. You don't need to go through that whole list
and we can send out the PDF of this as well.
You have them. Exactly. Private. I think a lot of people, when describing like yards, lots, like that it's private is important.
And it better be private. That goes back to our accuracy slide.
Don't say it's
it
private.
Better be private. If you're saying it's private,
yeah. Amazing. So making it yours, even if AI helps. So that's why I said we kind of a good balance between the two of us here. I personally like to use ChatGPT, but it's important to know that using AI or technology like that, it's your assistant. It's not supposed to replace. You're not supposed to just tell it to write the whole thing and then you're done. It's a good starting point, but it's your job to make it sound like you. Nothing drives me more crazy than when I'm reading descriptions on MLS and they say the perfect blend of whatever.
Of comfort and convenience. The perfect blend of comfort and convenience.
More than perfect blend. So even when I use ChatGPT and it gives me a starting point and I see perfect blend, I tell my dear ChatGPT, like, do not use perfect blend. It is a dead giveaway for the fact that I'm using AI. So I work with it, but again, it's just a starting point. Instead of saying the perfect blend of charm and functionality, say thoughtful layout with, and then describe things like original moldings and a fully renovated kitchen. So don't use perfect blend, please.
Exactly.
So again, make it sound like you, use clear language, add details that only you know about the home.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. And what it might be in our hints, but when you're meeting with the seller and going through the house, I like to ask them what they initially loved about the house, what they like what they love about it now. And then try and mention those things in the remarks as well. Because if it attracted them, like, these are things that people might not know. Like, maybe there's, a cute little creek at the end of the road, or maybe they love how quiet the street is, or how, like things like that. What attracted them, it could very well attract the next buyer too.
Yeah. Awesome. Now I'm just curious, like, out of the group that's here today, like, how many of you are using ChatGPT, or how many when doing your write-ups? Just like a little, I wish I could do a quick poll. Put your hands up. Just curious.
And it's okay, because I find it can, especially if you're in a pinch, or if you have a writer's block, or if you're whatever, like, it smooths it out at the very least, right? It makes it all cohesive if you got bumps between your thoughts and sentences. it can put it all together for you.
Exactly. And as I said, I like to kind of put my initial, like almost like bullet form points about the house together, only things that I know, the features I want to highlight. Then I'll ask ChatGPT to create me an MLS write-up, and then I use that and I work off of it, and again, further tweak and refine and add those details and descriptions that, again, the robot's not going to know about.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll quickly go through public
almost done.
Private remarks. Okay, again, client facing is, you're selling the dream, whereas the private broker remarks, those are for the, the details about showings, offers, disclosures. And it's important to know what goes where. I know there's been a lot of changes to the MLS data form.
Constant changes.
What's visible and what's not. We used to have extras, which was, I know personally, Deanna and I, like one of our favorite sections.
Yes.
To add extra details, but that is no longer. Chattels included, excluded are also no longer visible by clients. Feature sheets are not public or visible. So again, using your brokerage remarks and your client remarks again to kind of highlight the important details that either is going to see. So I think we have a couple examples here.
Yeah.
We just pulled one of our recent listings that sold. So this was the client remarks. It fit on one page here. But again, so you're not going to see the chattels included or excluded at the bottom. You won't see the brokerage remarks versus if we skip over to, this is the brokerage one, it's on 2 pages. You'll see, again, the inclusions here, some important details there. There's other items, and then the brokerage remarks, some additional details there that are important to add.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I gotta move.
And then to wrap it up, the helpful hints, are there any comments about that? I would say just when it gets uploaded to Trello, our brilliant listing team always attaches a client MLS and a broker MLS. So if you want to know what each one looks like, just look at it on any listing card and you can kind of compare.
Yeah, or on Realm too, you can look and compare.
I had my arm up for 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, sorry, just speak. Yeah, I can't see it. I'm in the car. Yes.
Yeah, just want to comment. Yes, I use a DeepSeek, right? And I asked them to write the articles for Instagram, right? And Facebook, and also for description. However, they give me 3 samples, and then I use one of them and then make changes. So just implement whatever is not, delete whatever is not true and implement whatever is really important. Yeah, because people can see, even the buyers, when I talk to them, they said, oh, it's a description.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah,
100%. People are catching on, that's for sure.
Yes. Okay, so to finally kind of wrap it up here, as we said, some helpful hints, as Anna there just added, you might use a platform to help you write it, but read it back to yourself, edit it, does it flow, and take some time to work on it. Don't just sit down the morning it's going live or the night before. I know we both like to personally kind of work on it even over a couple days.
Yeah.
Because things change. I like to sleep on things too, especially if I have writer's block, as you mentioned. And
read it again. And what I like to do, so for those of you on the team, or if you're not, I put it in a Word document or whatever kind of document or whatever kind of Word thing you guys have if you're on a Mac or something. Because you have 2,000 characters now, and that also changes. It used to be 1,000, now it's 2,000. Do you have to put 2,000 characters? Probably not. It's pretty long, but that'll at least help you with your word count, so that when you put it in, when you load it to Realm or wherever, you don't get dinged. So I always do it on a document so that I could save it separately. And work on it over a few days. Things change. Sometimes it looks drastically different from when I start to when I finish. Have someone else proof it if you want. There's always just ask someone. Just have a read through. Does it flow? Does it make sense? Do you understand the house? Do you get an idea of the house by reading it?
Yeah.
I already suggested this, but again, read other listing remarks and see what attracts your attention. See what you like, what works, and then use it as your inspo, right? Yes, listing audits. Woo!
Right. We love listing audits.
Yeah, and then as I already said, when meeting with your sellers, ask them what initially attracted them to the house, and then incorporate that into their remarks too.
Love it. They love to know that you're listening.
Yes, exactly. So that's sort of it in a nutshell.
Right?
15 minutes turned into 30. So thanks everyone for sticking around. Any questions, thoughts, observations from, your experience or what you've seen?
Yeah. Anyone have anything to add?
Just add it, just throw it out if you want.
Remove the dashes when ChatGPT creates something for you. Everyone those dashes, it's a #1 tell.
Yes, the long dashes. Turn it into a comment.
You can, there's a prompt that I see if I can find it. There's a prompt I found online that you can put into like when you customize your ChatGPT so it doesn't give you those anymore.
Send
nice.
I'll put it in the chat.
Steph's like, yes.
Yes.
There, I just put it in the chat.
Amazing. Thank you.
So I would say sorry, go ahead.
For added value, also know if your warranties are transferable free of charge.
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be, again, like the less, when you're listing a house, the less objections and questions that buyers have, the more likely they are to submit clean offers.
Yeah.
So eliminate anything like that. But yeah, in general, there's a lot of inventory. There's a lot of listings in our face. And by taking the time to make our remarks stand out, it'll just help you stay ahead of the pack. So I think that's it.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in this morning. As I said, we can share the presentation or if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out.
Okay, amazing. Have a happy Friday, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you,
Happy
ladies.
writing.
This was
Thank you
incredible.
so much,
Thanks,
guys.
Welcome back.
Have a good day, everyone.